that we miss the revelation God has for us. It talks about the tradition of men makes the gospel of none effect. In other words, that people cannot even embrace everything God has for us because we keep going back to tradition. Tradition didn't work then, and the idea was I'm going to be open to the revelation. And so here's the point. Every day, so part of this resting is making sure, we're going to see in just a moment, being open to what God has for us. So what we're talking about now is really the keys to pass our spiritual tests and unlocking the secrets to our spiritual promise and promotion there. So at this point, entering God's rest. So we got a couple of spiritual principles we want to lay out with us. So you can follow along up here or on your phones, on your slides there. So our first spiritual principle, it begins with our title. This is our title. Let's read our title for this series together. To be the best, trust God and rest. To be the best, trust God and rest. It is impossible to be the best without accepting the best God gave. It's impossible to be the best without receiving and accepting the best, Jesus, that God gave. Any athlete knows if you want to be the best, you don't play with somebody that you can just beat all the time. You play with the best to be the best. So God gave us his best in his son Jesus in order for us to always be the best in every area of our lives. So what are we talking about? So entering into God's rest. Now so we're going to be looking, this is here, we're going to be looking all this month in just one book. The book of Hebrews, and all we're looking at for the whole month will be Hebrews 3, chapter 3, and Hebrews chapter 4 for the whole month. Because that's when it unlocks this idea of resting in God. Now we know in Genesis, it says in Genesis, he rested on the seventh day, which we'll talk about in a moment. But now how we apply these principles of God's rest, we're looking at Hebrews 3, chapters 3 and 4. Now here's our point right here. So the book of Hebrews was written to Hebrew Jewish believers. What was happening there? Look at the second. Their confidence in Jesus had been undermined by false teaching. What are we seeing right here? If the devil wants to do anything in our lives, he only comes to kill, steal, and destroy. His primary objective in our lives is to cause us to lose confidence in what Jesus has done. His whole objective is to cause us to lose confidence in what God has said. So what happens? So we are declaring healing, and our body is still sick. He wants us to lose confidence in the healing power of Jesus. If we have some situations going on and we say God's going to supply our needs and we don't see how it's going to be supplied, he wants us to lose confidence in what God has already provided. The devil's job is to allow circumstances to occur where we stop having confidence in the Lord. But there has to be a point where our mind is set that I'm going to believe God, I'm going to trust God, I'm going to rely on God, I'm going to go with God, I'm going to stand for God, I will rely on God. I'm not going to turn back from God because I got confidence in what he says. So what happens? His word doesn't change just because I don't see it. Because I haven't seen it today doesn't mean the promise is not there. I just got to get in position to receive what he promised. And the devil is always trying to attack our confidence. You standing for the Lord and tithing, and all of a sudden some unexpected bills come up trying to attack our confidence. You believe you're praying and don't see any results of your praying. And so he tries to pop in your mind, why are you praying and wasting your time? You haven't even seen, they're trying to go in and address our confidence. Been praying for somebody to be saved for years and years. Went through 5 sets of knee pads praying for their salvation. And you hadn't seen, it seemed like they got worse. And the devil is trying to undermine our confidence. So what happens then? So our role has to be at this point, look at confidence. I love this. Confidence is this feeling or belief that we have faith or rely on somebody or something. So what confidence is I rely on God completely. That's confidence. Now I want to talk about this now. I want to be clear about this. The world talks about self-confidence. We talk about God confidence. So I'm not talking about what I can do. I'm talking about what God has done. Glory to God. I'm not talking about what I can do. I'm I'm talking about what God has done. See, when I get it off that's self-confidence, I now get ready for God's confidence. So we're talking about now, so the devil wants to undercut and undermine our confidence in God. So read this with me 3 times, please. I have complete confidence in God. Again, I have complete confidence in God. One more time. I have complete confidence in God. Give God a hand clap of praise for having confidence in Him. Hallelujah. Not just partial confidence on Sundays, but confidence in God repeatedly. So here's the point. So if the messages are about anything, it's about saying we get our confidence meter up to get on high. If it's about anything, so some of us have had some fair confidence, and some of us have some building confidence and some steady confidence. It is time to now have some invincible confidence that regardless of what I hear around me, and regardless of what was said about me, I'm still going to rely on God. I'm not going to allow what goes on out there to disturb my peace in here, because I have confidence in the Lord. So whatever goes on out there, you can't control that. That's some authority though. But I'm not going to allow that to shake the peace I've been working so hard for, to embrace all this time. So this idea, I have complete confidence in God. The devil wants to shake our confidence in God. We got confidence right now. You have confidence right now that pew is going to hold you. Some of y'all got one person on the pew. Some of y'all got 10 folk on the pew. But y'all got some confidence to hold. Look around. Make sure that. So you're going to have more confidence in a pew than our God who made us and created us. We must have complete confidence in God. So I love this right here from Hebrews 10:35. Let's read this together. So don't throw away your confidence. Don't throw away your trust in God, your reliance on God. Keep on now. It will be richly rewarded. In other words, whenever we continue to have confidence in God, when according to the world, we should have stopped trusting a long time ago, we're going to always see the manifestation of what God has promised, because we got total and complete confidence in God. Anybody ready to see the manifestation of what you've been believing God for? It's time to have an invincible confidence, not in us, but in God. So this is spiritual principle number 1. Read this with me, please. Enter God's rest and enjoy the rest of your life. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be over here in Hawaii or all the palm trees. I'm just simply saying that when we enter into God's rest, that's when we position ourselves to enjoy the rest of our lives. Put it another way. It is impossible to enjoy the rest of our lives without entering into God's rest. God's rest is a prerequisite to go in and enjoying the rest of our lives. Apart from God's rest, I'll never be able to enjoy the rest of my life. So our whole teaching this month is about how do we enter and remain in God's rest. This is our mission statement for the year. What does it say? Embracing and what? Enjoying. In what life? Enjoying life. Well, so what? So if I enter into God's rest, I can do what? Enjoy the rest of my life. So this whole idea of embracing, I'm embracing, I'm entering and receiving what God's rest provides. Now I can enjoy the rest of my life. And read Romans 12:1 from Message with me one more time. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for Him. Rather than all these things, trying to go out here and do this event, just accept, just embrace, just receive what God has already done. Just embrace, just accept, just believe and receive what God has already done. That's the best thing we can do for Him. So 2019, our best year ever. So here's spiritual principle number 2. And then in spiritual principle number 3 and 4 are really the crux of our time today. So spiritual principle number 2. How often should we enter God's rest? I'll be looking ahead on your slides. How often, let's stay with me now. That's one thing, I folk already. I know the answer on these slides, and look. But for those of us who are still watching, how often should we enter into God's rest? Always. Oh, that's right, every day. You can't enter into it today and just say, I'm in here today. No, that's a continuous process because the devil is always trying to get us moved away from God's rest. So the question really is now, spiritual principle 3, this is it. What is it? So there's a point. So here we have, so let me ask, first of all, let me ask the question for you to respond first. Then I want to give us our analogy here. So if somebody wanted to know, and they have space on a bumper sticker, and you're supposed to fill in a few words, and it says, what is God's rest? What would you say?
Peace.
Peace. What is God's rest? What else?
Trusting God.
Trusting God. What is God's rest?
Peace, joy, love.
And peace, joy, and love, all right? And now, and God's rest encompasses all of that. But we want to have an operational, functional definition that we all work from about what it means to have God's rest. And I love this one right here. So now, has anybody ever traveled in a vehicle or something and you've ever seen a rest area sign before? What's the point of a rest area? Well, the rest, yeah, that's right. Do what that? And what you do? Huh?
Stretch your legs.
Stretch your leg, yeah. See, Sister Tammy, that's what she's about. See, Sister Tammy can have a big Yukon and still got gas in her legs. But the idea, what's the point of a rest area? Why would you have to have all these rest areas along the way? Refresh. What else? Break. Go to the bathroom. So the idea, all these things occur. And one thing Jesus did masterfully, he always took what people understood to make spiritual principles. That's what parable is all about. It's using earthly examples to make spiritual points. So there's something to be said about it. Now here's what happened. Now, it used to be a time when we were younger, we could pass every rest area from here to Florida. Now, can't get into Charlotte and then twice. So the idea was, and then make up one. And, so the idea was the rest area. So I want to give us two things that occur first of all in the rest area, which you all have already said. First of all, is that the rest area in God's rest are a place to relieve and receive. And what's happening? You ever been in a car, and I know the women here have been, where somebody's driving, your husband, your brother, a nephew, uncle, and you told them 20 miles ago, you got to go to the bathroom. And they tell you, just hold it, because I got to make it 5 more miles down the road. Things coming down your head, you sweating, trying to hold stuff in, trying to think, and then all of a sudden it starts raining. Then more water comes in, and you scrambling around, and it's not the Holy Ghost. So the idea was that, so eventually, you get to a point, so all this is being held in. So in the rest area, you got to go out here and have some relief. We went to Uncle Junior's burial out of town years ago, and Uncle Mike was in the second car. Uncle Mike did roller derby, knocking everybody out the way. There was a line to get into the rest area bathroom. He's knocking folk out. I gotta go. Because here's what happened. And so what is happening is stuff has been built up so long. It's just time to release it. And here's what I'm saying. For so many believers, you got some unforgiveness built up so long, and some bitterness built up so long, and some anger built up so long, and resentment so long. So when I go into God's rest, I'm releasing all of it. I'm not going to hold on to this stuff that's caused me to almost explode because it's not healthy. I'm going, part of God's rest is I got to release. I got to let that stuff go. Go hang on to something done 10 years ago that nobody remembers but you. Come on. Gonna be upset with somebody that you will never see again in life. And if you do see them again, and they don't even remember, we're holding on to stuff. And part of God's rest says, I'm not going to keep holding on to something that's bad for me. I'm not going to keep holding on to something that's holding me down. I'm not going to keep holding on to something, because whatever I'm holding on to, because you can't, I don't care how pretty the drive is, if you got to go to the bathroom in the car, you missing what's out there. Because all you folks know, like, oh Lord, they says 19 miles, and you watch every little sign. And then they're like watching, you count those signs and they take forever. You're like, oh Jesus, keep it near the cross. So the idea, you can't even enjoy that. Because you just focus on this. And too many folks are focused on your hurt and your own pain and your own discouragement. Instead of saying, I'm going to release and relieve all of this through God's rest. I don't know what it is for you, but I'm telling you, we were not meant to carry around all that stuff in our lives. We were not meant to